Hi everyone, it's Friday and it's time for class. Let's see who we have online today. Let's see who is in here today. Hi everybody. Hi, happy Friday. How is everybody today? Hi everyone. Hi Ava. Hi Julie. Hi Lynn.
Happy Jersey Day.
Oh, hello. I like your jersey. Very cool.
It's Happy Jersey Day.
Happy Jersey Day. Well, I don't have a jersey. I'll have to just say Happy Friday.
I have two jerseys.
Hi Louise.
I wore one of them to school.
You wore one to school today. Brilliant. Hi
Yeah,
Louise.
everyone wore something different except for one boy who wasn't in when the teacher gave the news.
Oh, so he didn't know about the Jersey Day.
So.
Hi everybody. How's everybody doing today? We good? Yeah? Brilliant. Okay, right, we'll get started because we've loads to get.
Shorts and a jersey.
My goodness, you're lovely and warm. Okay, guys, what we'll do is we'll get started. And I'm just going to go through all of what we need before we get started, okay? So the things we're going to need today for today's class are, you're going to need your glue and your scissors. They're the first two things you're going to need, like most weeks. Okay, they're the first two things you're going to need. The next thing you're going to need is your packet of markers, okay? And one piece of string. Now there's a couple of pieces of string tied together or wrapped around each other in your box. So we're going to need one of those today. All right. So one full piece of string. Now don't worry, I'll go over all of this a second time. So I'm just going to keep going and I'll repeat myself in a second. We're going to need one piece of coloured card. It doesn't matter what colour it is. Something nice and bright if you like. And one piece of white paper, and they're the same size. Okay, the white paper and the card are the same size as each other. Okay, and they'll be in the zippy part of your pack. Okay, and while you're in there getting those two things out, we need 3 other pieces of coloured paper. Now the coloured paper is folded over like this a little bit, okay? So 3 different colours. I've kind of got 3 different colour purples for mine today. That's what I'm going to do. And that is everything you're going to need. So I'm going to go over all of that one more time while you guys are getting things out of the box, okay? You're going to need, and I'm going to need my glue. Okay, so we're just letting Lucy in there to the class. We're going to need glue. We're going to need a scissors. Hi, Lucy. Hi, welcome back. So we're going to need a glue and a scissors.
One of my strings are all tied together.
They are. So you might need to get your mum's help just to untie one there for you, Julie. Okay, we won't need it till the very end anyway. So don't worry, there's no hurry with that bit, okay? So we're going to need your glue and your scissors and your markers. They're your first 3 things that we're going to need. Then we're going to need, as Julie just said there, one piece of string, one piece of coloured card, one piece of white paper, which is the same size as your card, and 3 sheets of coloured paper. Now your coloured paper is the stuff that's folded over in your pack, so you know the difference between the paper and the card for this term, okay? Right, and while you guys are digging those things out of the boxes, I'm going to show you what we're making today. I'm really excited because this is one of my favourite things in the term that we're making. These are crazy parrots, or as I like to call them, Polly's Gone Crackers. Instead of Polly Wants a Cracker, Polly's Gone Crackers. Woo-hoo. And they're these crazy parrots that look like they've crashed into something with their broken beaks and their curled up tails. And they're really colourful and loads of fun. So we're going to make these today. Okay, so we will get started. All right, Ava's showing her mum there. Yeah, they're crazy parrots. And actually, somebody pointed out on Tuesday's class that you could actually just use them.
What to get.
Yeah, I'll go over it again for you in a second now. Okay, Julie, 1 second. So you could use them as a puppet as well. Somebody pointed out you could put your fingers inside and use it as a puppet. So I'm going to go through what you need one more time, okay? One last time. So pay attention. So we're going to need your scissors and your glue, or your glue and your scissors even. Your glue and your scissors, your markers like we do every week, and one piece of string, all right? They're the first 4 things that we need. Then we'll move over to your zippy folder and we'll get out one piece of card and one piece of white paper, okay? All right. And then we're going to take out 3 sheets of your folded over coloured paper. All right. So you're going to need 3 sheets of coloured paper, 1 sheet of card, and 1 sheet of white paper. That's what we're going to need today. Okay, so we're going to get started, and we're going to start off with your card. Okay, so your card is your smaller piece. It's the same size as your white paper. Okay, so that's how you know the difference. And we're going to hold it portrait wise. So this way is the lengthwise, tall wise. Okay, and we're going to fold it in half like this. Now I'll do everything a few times, so don't worry if you're needing to catch up a little bit. Okay, so we've taken your card, we've held it portrait wise, which is this size. It's like, imagine there's a face in the middle of it, so you've painted somebody's portrait. That's how we remember that. And we're going to just fold it in half and make a lovely sharp line in the middle of it like this. Okay, and when we have that done, we're going to do what we do most weeks. Open it up and you have that lovely line down the center, and we're going to use that as a guide and take your scissors and cut it in half. Okay, so that's what we're going to do first. The very first thing, we folded our card and now we are cutting it in half. All right, and we're going to try and be as neat as we can with this one, because this is going to be the body of your crazy parrot. Okay, so I'm going to go over everything once more, because Isabel has just joined us. So we're going to go over everything once more. It gives you time to catch up. Okay, so welcome, Isabel. Hi, Isabel, welcome. I'm going to go over everything one more time, so don't worry. Okay, so you're going to need your glue, your scissors, and your markers first. All right, well done. Yeah. You're going to need 1 piece of string. And I know that some of them are really tangled up, but your mum or somebody can help you with that. You're going to need 1 piece of coloured card, 1 piece of white paper, and 3 pieces of coloured paper, the ones that are folded over in your pack. Okay, so 3 pieces of coloured paper. And we've started with your card. I couldn't think of the word there. Card. We folded it in half lengthwise, so the nice, the tall wise. And we then, exactly, Julie, we cut that in half. So we started with your card. We folded it in half like this. And we've cut down the center, so we end up with 2 long strips of card like this.
Everything I have is blue.
Brilliant. And most of my stuff today is purple. I've decided to go with a purple and yellow theme.
My parrot's gonna be fully blue.
Very cool. Very nice. And that's your design. That's brilliant. And Ava's untangling her string there as we speak. So don't worry, Isabel. You'll have time to catch up. Okay. So once we've cut these 2 things in half, we're going to take one and we're going to put it to one side, because we only need 1 for today. Okay. We're going to put it away for a minute and we're just going to use 1. And this is going to be the body of our crazy parrots, because this is what we're making today. Okay, our crazy parrots with our curly hair, our tail and feathers.
I want my parrot to look cute.
Oh yeah, but they will look cute. You can make them look crazy or cute. This guy looks like he's flown into a window.
Or crazy and cute.
Yeah, crazy cute even. They can be those things too. Okay, so we're going to take our piece of card that we've just cut, and we're going to make the body or the tube for our parrot. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to roll your tube into a kind of a cone, not a cone shape, a tube shape, like a toilet roll holder shape, I suppose. Okay, that's what we're going to do. All right, you okay, Lynn?
Like when we did the luck catchers for Chinese Day.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, when we did these ones, the little good luck catchers. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make that little tube, and we're going to take our marker, and this is just a little hint, a little trick. I'm going to take our marker. I'm going to take my nice black one, and I'm just going to do a little line here. Just mark it here, okay, like that. Okay, so when I open it back up, I know that the smaller bit is where I put all the glue. Okay, so I'll roll it up again like that. And I just used my marker and made a little line here. So when I open it up, I'm going to put all the glue on the smaller part, and then I'll roll it back up again and stick it together. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take my glue, and my rule about the glue is loads and loads and loads of glue, especially...
It didn't work for me.
Yeah, that's okay. Just put glue on that little section there, Julie. You know yourself. All right, that's just a little trick. You don't have to put the marker there. All right, so just put glue on one side of it, and then we're going to roll it up again and glue it together, okay? And loads of glue when you're sticking card to card, because card doesn't like being stuck to card.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So loads of glue. There we go. And we're going to roll that back up again. You might get your hands a little bit gluey, but that's okay. And we're going to just stick it together like that, making sure that it sticks, holding it together for a couple of seconds. And that would be the body done. So we're flying it already. Okay, so making sure that all sticks together like that. And these are really lovely for the window, and you probably will have enough to make 2 from your card, okay? Because you can use the other one as well and make another one, maybe for a gift for somebody. Like today is my dad's birthday, so I'm going to give him one of these to hang in his window in the shed. Here we go. Okay, so that's my tube, like that.
Today is my cousin's and my little sister's birthday.
Is it? And it's also William Shakespeare's birthday today, the playwright William Shakespeare, who wrote Romeo and Juliet and all that. So that's his birthday today.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so lots of really important people were born today. Okay, how are we getting on there with the tubes, guys? Are we good?
Shakespeare's dead.
Oh, he's very dead, yes. He's been dead for 400 and something years.
My cousin actually loves Romeo and Juliet, so I have to tell him that.
Yeah, do. And you know what? What else is interesting? His birthday was also the day he died. So he died on his birthday. So it's the 23rd of April to the 23rd of April.
Someone died on their birthday. That's so sad.
I know, it sucks, doesn't it? But I hope he had cake first before he died. Okay.
And presents, of course.
And presents.
Then they can put his presents on his grave, and it would be awesome.
Or somebody could just take his presents and use them, Julie. Okay, right.
No.
We're getting distracted. We need to get back to class. Okay, right. So we've got all of our tubes made, and we're going to start making the rest of our parrot parts now. So we're going to move on to your white paper for a moment, okay? So we're going to move on to this guy here, and we're going to do the trick again. We've done this so many times. We're going to use the cap of your glue, and we're just going to go towards the bottom of your page, and we're going to draw around it 4 times, okay? So you can go like 4 in a row or 4 up the side. It's up to yourself. But the closer to the edge you go, the more paper that we save.
I think I know what we're doing.
Do you? What are we doing?
The eyes.
Yeah, we're doing the eyes and the feet. And I'm going to show you a trick to do the feet now in a second.
Or you could just draw the eyes on, but it's funny.
Yeah, you could. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do another one here. I've drawn around one already. And I'm going to go around the second one here. So you can see there, these are 2 of mine. As Julie says, they're going to be for the eyes. And I'm going to do another 2 next to that. And by doing it at the bottom of the page or near the edge of the page, we're saving more paper for the planet. And also we're making sure we have lots of paper left over for other things we want to do, like his beak, and maybe for a second one that we might want to make, or just to scribble on for the rest of the week. Okay, so we're making enough. So I've got 4 done here. I've done it 4 times, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the eyes. Now, if you want to do the crazy parrot eyes like I've done, that's cool. If you want to do a different kind of eye, that's also cool. It's your design. It's completely up to you, and you don't have to use black. You can use whatever color you want. In fact, somebody on Tuesday's class did one blue eye and one green eye, which was very cool. But I'm going to do these kind of eyes today. So what I'm going to do to make them look a little bit dizzy is I'm going to do one bigger than the other, okay? So I've just drawn another black circle inside the circle and a smaller circle inside that, and I colour in the centre one, okay? And I've done exactly the same thing with this one, except I've made the middle circle smaller, okay? So I'm going to show you what I mean on these ones here, okay? So I'm going to just pop it up here behind me. I know this is kind of hard to see, but I'll show it to you closer to the camera in a sec. So I'm going to do one big nice one here with a little circle in the middle, and a smaller one with another smaller circle in the middle. So that's what I've done with mine. So I've done the middle circle a little bit bigger and a little circle on the inside. And we're not going to colour the middle circle in because it makes it look like they're real eyes. You can see the little shining bits in my eyes here. You can see the bit that catches the light. So that's what we're trying to draw here with the middle part, that middle circle. And this one looks like a fried egg. You can colour those in whatever colour you want, all right? It's completely up to you. By doing them 2 different sizes, it makes him look dizzy, like he's crashed into something or he's a bit mad, okay? And that's kind of what I'm going for with the crazy parrots. Crazy crackers, okay? So there we go. I've coloured those in. And when they're coloured in, I'm going to cut those out and just pop them over to one side, okay? And while you guys are doing that, I'm just going to recap and go over everything we've done so far one more time for those people who are doing this on the YouTube channel, okay? So what we did was we started off with our card and we folded it in half. Portrait-wise, we folded it in half and cut it down the centre, so we ended up with 2 long strips of card, okay? And then we put one of them aside and we used the other one to make a tube, okay? So what we did was we rolled it up first and we kind of marked the section that we wanted to glue here with a bit of black marker. So when we opened it up, we put loads of glue on the shorter side and then rolled it up and stuck it together and let it dry. We put it to one side. Then we took our white paper and the cap of our glue and we drew around it 4 times. So these are my second 2 here. And with 2 of them, we're going to do the eyes, and these other 2 are going to be the feet in a second. I'm going to show you a little trick in a minute. And we've done one eyeball bigger than the other to give him the effect that he's a bit dizzy or he's crashed into something. And what we're doing now is we're colouring those in and then we're cutting them out and putting them to one side, because we'll do this week like the same as we do most weeks. Make all the pieces first and then stick everything together at the end, okay? Yes, Lynn?
I did one eye green and the other eye purple.
Oh my God, my 2 favourite colours. I love it. Very cool. And it'll be such a colourful parrot when you're done.
And you know the cartoons sometimes, when the cartoon is bump into a wall or something,
yeah,
I took up green and purple.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're a bit like woo, and one is green and one's purple, and their eyeballs are twisting like this. It's very cool. Right. So I've got my eyeballs done. Well, not my eyeballs, the eyeballs that I'm making, obviously. And I'm going to show you a little trick on how to make the feet, okay? You know the way sometimes we fold over paper if we're trying to make 2 of something that's identical or the same? Sometimes if you're using scrap paper, you won't be able to fold it. Well done, Louise. They're brilliant.
One eye green, the other eye pink.
Well done. That's brilliant. Well done. Good girl. So as I was saying, do you know the way sometimes we fold over the paper, which we'll be doing later for the wings, and we draw on one side, and when we cut it out, we have 2 of the same. So this is another trick. If you don't have enough space to do that and you want something to be almost like the same, we can do a trick like this, okay? So we've made 2 little circles with the cap of our glue. So pretend I only have a little bit of space down here and I have a corner of paper up here, and I had to do 2 of them the same, okay? And I've taken my marker and I'm going to draw inside the circle. So I'm using the circle as a guide, okay? And I'm going to do like a tall rainbow shape. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to do it down here and then I'll hold it up. So I'm going to do a tall rainbow shape inside the circle like this, okay? Like that. And at the bottom, I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3 loops, like a W with 3 parts. And that'll be 1 foot. So when I do the same on the other side, because I used the circle as a guide, the 2 feet will be almost identical. They'll be almost exactly the same. Okay, so this is another little trick. If you only have a tiny bit of scrap paper and you need 2 things to be the same and you don't have enough space to fold something over, this is a really handy trick. Okay, so I'm going to do my second one.
Like when we did the wings on the last day of the last term.
The what now?
The wings, you know when we did the wings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So look, when you see my ones there, they're almost exactly the same. Okay, because they're the same height. One is slightly thinner than the other, but they're almost exactly the same. So sometimes that's the only thing you can do, and that's absolutely cool too. So that's another little trick that you can do if you only have little bits of scraps of paper. Because sometimes I find that I'd only have like maybe this much of a section that isn't drawn on and maybe a little bit up to the top. and I'd say, oh, I really would like to do that, and my wings this colour or my feet this colour, and I don't have enough paper, it's a handy trick to have. Now, another little trick is I'm going to colour them in while they're still in the circle. So when I cut them out, it doesn't matter if I've gone outside the lines, okay? So you can do the feet any colour you want. You can do rainbow feet, you could do spotty feet, you could do stripy feet, you could do feet one colour or two colours, whatever you want. I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do purple feet actually. I think I'm going to do lots of purple on this guy today. So I'm going to do purple feet and I'm just going to colour it in quickly. All right. And I'm going to show you what I mean by going outside the lines, because when you cut it out, it'll be absolutely perfect. Okay. Look, I've gone outside the lines, but do I care? No, I don't, because it's my foot and I'm going to cut it out. No one will ever know except you guys. It's top secret. It's my secret. Okay. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to colour it out, colour it in. And then I'm going to cut them out. And then way I have my 2 eyes done and the 2 feet ready to stick on. And we can move on to other things like the beak and the feathers. All right. So off I go here now. And I'm just going to cut around the toes, or I suppose the talons, I suppose, if it's a parrot. And I'm going to keep going, cut those out. There we go. Here we go. Now, so I've got one done. I've cut it out. And you can see, look, nobody will ever know I went outside the lines now.
I'm still doing the eyes.
That's all right. Yeah, take your time, Julie. It's fine. We're going to go over things again. Don't worry, okay? So when you've the eyes done,
I'm able to do my next thing now because I'm done the eyes, but I don't know what I have to do now.
Brilliant. I'll tell you there now, okay? I'm just going to finish cutting this out here. So move on to your second 2 circles. And inside the circle, you're going to draw a tall rainbow, Julie, okay? So in the 2 circles that you have left blank, draw a tall rainbow, okay? And give him like a W with 3 kind of loops at the end instead of 2, all right? And you end up with this kind of shape here for the toes or the talons, okay?
Okay.
So when it's inside the circle, it looks like this, okay? And you're using the circle as a guide, and that's a little trick that we use when we don't have enough paper to fold it over. But I'm just teaching you today, even though we have enough paper, because I think it's a nice little trick, okay? And when you have those drawn, you can colour them in whatever colours you want and cut them out. All right? How is everybody getting on, guys? Are we good? Yep, Isabel's flying it. Lynn is flying it.
I made a mistake on mine.
That's okay. You can do it on the other side. When you cut out the circle, you can cut out the circle and draw it on the other side. All right? How's everybody getting on? Are we good? Drawing away and colouring away. Fantastic. Well done, guys. And Lucy's done already. She's like a pro. Fabulous, guys. Well done. Okay. So while you guys are just finishing those up there, lovely, Ava. Well done. When you guys are just finishing up there, so I'm just going to recap what we did, but I'm not going to go through everything. So far what you should have is your tube made of cardboard that we've done for the body. Okay. And then we've drawn around our glue cap 4 times. And with 2 of those, we drew our eyeballs. Okay. So we did these 2 eyes and we did them in 2 different sizes. So he looks a bit mad. Okay. And we've cut those out. And then we went to the other 2 circles and we drew 2 tall rainbows shapes. We gave them 3 kind of toes, I suppose, or talons each. Coloured them in and we cut those out as well. So they're ready to go. So we have the feet and the eyes done and the body done of the bird. Okay, the last thing we're going to do out of the white paper is his beak. And how we're going to do that is we're going to draw a diamond shape. All right. Now, a diamond shape is really simple to draw, but if you're stuck, you can draw a triangle and then turn it upside down and do another triangle on the top, okay, if you're stuck. But really, most of you should be able to draw a diamond shape. No problems at all. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we want him to look like he's a bit confused or he's flown into something. So it doesn't have to be a perfect diamond shape.
I want it to look cute.
Yeah. Okay, how you can make him look a little bit cuter, I suppose, is you don't have to squash it. Okay, so I've just drawn a diamond shape on my white paper like that. And you can see mine isn't perfect. Okay, and I'm going to colour it in on both sides, because you're going to see the inside and the outside of his beak. All right. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to give him a purple beak as well, because, you know, why not? So I'm going to colour it in on one side, and I'm going to cut it out and colour it in on the other side. Okay, so I've just done this. And I've gone outside the lines because why? I'm cutting it out, so no one will ever know. And I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to colour in the other side a little bit neater. And when you're trying to colour in something small, another little trick, if you don't want to get marker all over your hands or marker all over your table or your mum and dad's tablecloth, you can put it down on a waste piece of paper and then colour it in, okay? So if you go outside the lines, it doesn't matter. Look, so I've cut mine out, and when I'm colouring in the other side, I'm going to pop it down onto the paper I just cut it out of.
I did a special trick.
Did you?
I drew one of my feet and colored it all scribbly, and went outside the lines and drew beside it.
Yeah.
And then I folded the piece of paper and cut it out, and I only had to color one foot and cut out one foot.
Well done. That's a really good trick. So that's what I love about arts and crafts, Julie, and everybody else, is like you discover things, or you make little inventions along the way by accident. And I think that's really cool. Or sometimes you learn something from one teacher, and then you'll say it in another teacher's class and say, oh, that's really clever. I was learning to bake when I was in school, because we had a kitchen and we used to be able to do baking. And we were really lucky. And there was... Yeah, I know. But, well, the teacher was there. And we were in 6th class, so it wasn't too bad.
When I was in kindergarten, we had a little kitchen for the teachers only, that you were allowed to walk in there. And we went in there once, and we made icicles. Oh,
and you still remember that? That's really cool.
Our teacher made them, and then a few of us got to eat them, and then when we went home, the teacher gave a few more to people who didn't get to eat one.
Oh, that's nice. And we used to make loads of cakes and things, and one of my teachers taught me how to get pastry off my hands when it's all gooey and stuff, and I've never forgotten that. And then I told another teacher years later, so the teacher learned something from me that I learned from another teacher, and that's kind of what's happening here. I learn things from you that you learn from other places. I think that's pretty cool. So we're all sharing nice ideas. Right, how are we getting on? Are we good? Do we have the eyes done? Do we have the beak done? Do we have the feet done? Oh, Isabel, that looked really freaky when you put those eyes up to your eyes. It's really cool. They look like your eyes. Well done, Ava. Have you got both sides of the beak done? Fantastic. How are you getting on, Louise? You good? Brilliant. Okay, so everyone's good. Great.
My parrot is fully blue.
Brilliant.
Every single thing on her is blue.
Fantastic. Mine is all going to be purple as well.
Every single thing in her eyes.
Wow. So you've got a colour scheme going on. Okay. Right, guys. So we're going to start sticking stuff on, and then we'll go and we'll make the wings and we'll make the feathers. Okay. So we're going to take our tube. Now, if you can look into the inside of the tube, you'll see that one side has 2 pieces of cardboard because we rolled it, and the other side has 1. So it's the side with 1. It's this.
Make the beak yet.
That's okay. Hurry up there now, and you can catch up with us while I'm explaining this, okay? So on the side with 1 piece of card is the side we're going to stick everything onto, okay? Now, for the string, you're probably going to need help from your mums or dads, because it's really difficult to go through 2 pieces of card with the scissors that we have, okay? So we leave that till the end, but we're going to go through here, and we're going to stick on the eyes, and just using loads of glue again. And that trick that I taught you way back at the start of term 1, and I suppose for Louise last week only, we're going to just rub that eyeball over the top of the glue so you don't get glue all over your table or your hands. And we're just going to stick that on, okay? So there we go, just glued it on, and I'm going to glue the other one on as well. Now, to make them look really dizzy, if you stick the eyeballs not next to each other, but one kind of above the other one, it makes them look even more dizzy. Okay, so that's a little trick. You don't have to do that, but if you'd like to, that's a kind of a cool thing to know as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with mine. So I'm going to stick one a little bit lower down than the other one again. So he looks a bit like, woo, a bit dizzy. Flew into the window. Okay. Then I'm going to stick the feet on. And how I'm going to do that is we're going to put the glue on the front, on the rounded part, and we're going to stick it on the inside. Okay. Like that. All right. So I'm going to do that there. Don't worry, guys, if you're not as fast as me doing this, it's completely fine. Take your time. I've had loads of practice with this week. Okay, so, and I've made these before. So I've had loads and loads of practice. So I'm going to put more glue on the other foot and stick that on as well. Okay, so then I'm just going to put them into the inside here. You can see that one, I've glued it on. And I'm going to do the other one next to it. So there we go. Okay. It's him upside down. It's in the right way around. Okay. Now, when it comes to sticking on the beak, it's easier to squash it and make it look a little bit banjaxed, a little bit wonky, if you just kind of put a bit of glue in the middle, okay? So if you put a bit of glue on the center of the diamond shape, okay? So I'm going to hold it like this, like that. It's really hard to see. I'm just going to see if you can see it a bit better with my hand. I'm going to hold it like this and just put glue in the folded bit, okay? Because I don't want it to sit flat. I want it to kind of stick out and be a bit 3D, okay? And when you're sticking it on, it kind of gets squashed a little bit anyway. So you don't really have to do anything with it. I've just stuck it on there now and it looks a little bit squished, like that, okay? So I didn't really have to squash it, but you can squash it a bit more if you want, like this. Makes it look a little bit broken. There we go. There we go. Now, there's my beak, okay? So what I did with that is I just kind of put a little bit of glue in the center of the beak and I popped it on like that.
Yours is my county colors.
Is it? Are you in Wexford?
Golden and yellow.
And that's Wexford, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I used to live in a town in County Galway called Kinvara, and it's their colours too, golden and purple.
Wexford, I don't really live in Wexford, but I live in a part of Wexford called Oilgate, and I live in Oilgate Village.
That's cool. And does the village have its own colours as well, Julie?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, Louise, that's brilliant. Lynn, fabulous.
Blue and white.
Ava and Lucy, well done. Well done, guys. Oh, Ava, the eyes are brilliant.
Blue and white.
How are you getting on, Julie, with yours? Can I see?
Blue and white. I'm still doing the beach.
Wait till she's up talking.
Brilliant. Yes, Ava, what were you saying to me?
Sometimes I go to Trower Beach and the Coral Beach.
No, Trox Beach.
Trox Beach
In Kinvara.
Do you? Oh,
Do you know
that was my local beach for a long time. I used to live in Kinvara, and I bet you know my house in Kinvara. I bet you'd be able to spell it because it was over a shop on the main street next to Sexton's Pub.
Yeah, with the thatch roof.
Further down at the other end of the street, opposite, like on the opposite greens, that side of the road. Yeah, there was a little shop there, and it used to sell gifts and stuff. And I used to live upstairs. That was my house for a couple of years.
What a view!
I know, and I used to sing in the castle. That was my job. I used to work in the castle.
She worked in the castle in Dungura.
Yeah,
What?
I did for 2 years. Yeah. Loved it. I was one of the ladies in lovely dresses pretending to be the princesses in the castle. I loved that job.
Oh, wow.
Now, there you go. Bit of an Angela history lesson. Right, okay, we better keep going because we've only got the bodies done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on really quickly and we're going to do our feathers, all right? So what I need you to do is fold all of the 3 coloured pieces of paper in half, okay? All right, like that. Okay, so we've folded them, we're holding them landscape-wise and folding them in half. Okay, brilliant. Keep going there, Julie, you'll catch up, no problem, okay? Lynn, were you saying something? Can you unmute yourself there?
And that's kind of done for us. We just kind of need to...
Exactly, it's kind of already done. And when that's done, we're going to cut all 3 in half, okay? Now, when you cut them in half, you only put half. You're only going to use half of your half, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've cut them in half. And we're going to put one rectangle of coloured paper away, back in the box, okay? Because we're only going to need half of those big pieces of paper. And I'm going to move on and I'm going to fold my second one and cut it then as well in half. And once you know, if you're a little bit behind with this, it's fine, because once you know how to make one feather, you can make all of them, okay? So if you only concentrate on making one, you can absolutely make all of them, okay? So if we go, we're going to cut them down the center here. There we go. And we're going to put one of them back in the box, and we're going to keep one of them. And I'm going to do the same thing a third time with the third piece of paper, okay? Brilliant. Folding it nice and sharp, making that lovely line in the middle and cutting down the center again, okay? So off we go. And we have 3 lovely coloured pieces of paper and 3 lovely coloured pieces of paper back in the box, because we're going to use this for a different week, all right? Because we didn't need all of this paper. We won't waste it. We're going to use it a different week. So don't use this paper today. Okay, we're going to put it back in the box. And we've got these 3 pieces of paper left. All right, so I have 3 of those. And these are going to be my feathers, okay? Now, if you're a little bit behind, it's okay, because I'm going to do this a few times, so don't worry. We're going to start with the first one. So just pick a colour. Doesn't matter which one. And I'm not even going to measure this, because you guys are totally fine with doing this. You don't need to measure. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut about this much all the way up the tall side of the paper. Okay? If you do want to measure it, it's about the top of my finger, like that. Okay? But I don't think you need to measure it. I think you got it. All right? And I'm going to do that once in each colour. Okay? So when I'm finished with the first colour, I'm going to put that back in the box. And I'm going to move on to my second one. So you end up with 3 different colour strips of paper. Okay? I suppose they kind of look like skinny bookmarks. Don't they? A little bit. Okay, so that's my second one. Popping the rest of it back in the box. And I'm going to my third colour. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again with that. So I end up with 3 strips of paper. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut the 3 strips of paper and I've got just these 3 left. And I've popped the other bits back in the box for now. And these are going to be the feathers for the hair part of the parrot and also the tail. Okay, so you can see I've used the 3 different colours for the hair and also the tail. Okay, now you can do more than 3 strips, but I think it looks okay. It looks good with 3 strips.
I've done my beak now. What do I do now?
Yeah, stick on the beak and the eyes and the feet onto the tube. Okay, so you end up with this, Julie, look. Okay, so glue those on there now, work away, and you can catch up then. Okay, so there we've got 3 different colours for the feathers. Okay, now what we're going to do next, you do not have to do this if you don't want to, but this is an option. If you would like to make them look more like feathers, we can cut a triangle into the top. You just cut the 2 corners off the top like this, and it's kind of a pointy feather shape. All right, and you only need to do it on one side. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut the triangle off the top like this. Here we go. And we're going to do it once more on my other one. Okay, so I've got 3 kind of pointy, they look like arrows, I suppose. And again, they're not perfect, and I don't mind that. I think this is kind of nice because he's a bit crazy and he's had a crash, so he's a bit disheveled. Okay, when I've that done, I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, so I'm not going to cut the triangle at the other side. I am going to cut a little bit off for his hair. Okay, I'm going to cut maybe a finger length off off of it at the top. Okay, so I'm going to cut here like that, and I'm going to use the shorter bit for his hair and the longer bit with the point at the end for his tail. Okay, and with the hair section, you can do exactly the same thing if you like, and you can make it pointed on one end like that for his hair, which you can see that I've done that as well here. Look, see? So it's pointed at the bottom and pointed at the top. All right, so you can do that if you like. I'm just going to cut a little bit off the top here again of this one, So with the bit that's not pointed, I'm going to cut a little section off, and I'm going to cut the 2 corners off to make it pointy, and that's going to be his hair. So I'm going to do that with all 3 pieces. So he has 3 long pieces for his tail and 3 short pieces for his hair. Okay?
Angela,
Yes?
how do you stick on the beak if you don't want it to be wonky?
You fold it in half and just put glue on one half of it and pop it on. Okay? Yes, you fold it like this, and then you can glue the bottom part, so the top part is the only bit that moves if you don't want it to look squished. Okay?
Thank you.
No problem. So we've got our...
I want mine to be cute.
Yeah.
Not all wonky.
Not all wonky. That's all right. So we've done 3 pieces for the hair, and we've done
I want mine
3...
to be a baby calling to its mama in spring.
Oh, that's cute. And we've done 3
then
pieces on the
actually,
tail.
I might be getting a parrot from the zoo.
Oh my goodness. You have to take care of it. Okay, right, Julie, we have to finish. So 1 second. 1 second. I'll come back to you in a second. I'm just going to tell everybody else what to do for 1 minute, okay? Right. If you would like the feathers to look a bit more feathery, I guess, I'm going to show you a little trick. So when I say feathery, I kind of mean like this. Look. So I suppose they stick out a little bit. They look a bit rough around the edges. If you'd like to do that, you can just do this little trick, okay? And I'm just going to cut a little bit into the card for my feather. You can kind of see that there, okay? And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, so 1 sec there now. Okay, I'm going to keep going like that. And when you kind of run your fingers through it, like this at the end, it makes them stick out a little bit. And again, that makes him look a bit more like he crashed, or he's got, you know, feathers that stick out a little bit, or he got wet, like a bird that's wet or get a bit crashed. So if you'd like to do that, that's a little trick on how to do that. And you can just do little slices into...
Maybe he went swimming in the bird bath.
That's actually what I was just going to say, Louise. Yeah, we have a little bird bath out the back, and we have a robin that visits us sometimes, and he loves jumping around in the bird bath, and he gets his feathers all wet like that. So that's actually just what I was going to say. So if you want to do the same thing with the hair and the tail, you can. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is just an added thing you can do if you want. I'm going to do it on mine because I have a little bit of time, so I can just do that. So I'm going to cut little slits into it like this, all the way down like that. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way down like that on the other side, and I'm going to make it stand out a little bit now again, just by running my fingers along it. And once you know how to do one of them, like I was saying, guys, once you know how to do one of these, you can always catch up if you're a little bit behind later. After class, you can stick these on last. It's absolutely fine. I know I have to rush through things to get things done in a time, but you guys have all the time in the world. You can take your time, okay? So I'm going to slit the little slits all the way down on both sides of all of my feathers, okay? Like that. You could also draw on some feathers if you want. Like a lot of birds, like finches and thrushes and stuff, they all have like dots and circles and stripes and things like that on their feathers. So if you wanted to add something extra, you could totally do that as well. It's your design, totally up to you.
How do you add the feet?
So you're just going to put glue on the top part of the toes, the rounded bit, and stick them on the inside of the tube like this, Julie, look.
Okay.
All right, good girl. So we're going to just do more little slits like this. I'm going to keep going with those. All right, like that. And I'm going to make them stand out a little bit more for his hair. And I'm on to my last one now, and we'll start gluing them in to our parrot. How is everybody getting on? Are we good? Anyone get any? Well done, Ava. That's really cute. And you're working on the feathers. Lynn is working on the feathers. Louise is working on the feathers as well, I think. Isabella's working away. She's gluing. Lucy, they're fabulous. Well done, good girl. I love the colours you picked as well. Well done. Awesome. Are you working on the feathers now, Ava, as well? Or are you getting your mum to do all the work? She's just helping. All right. You've done all that, but you're fine, so. Okay, right. What we're going to do now is we're going to stick on the feathers, okay? So even if you're still working on the feathers, I'm going to show you how we're doing one of them. So then you know how to do the other ones in a sec. So we're going to stick them on the inside of the bird again, but not on the same side as the feet, obviously, on the other side, okay? So I'm going to take the flat side like this. I'm actually going to use this one. And I'm just going to put loads of glue on one end like that. So it's the square end like this. And I'm going to stick it on the inside of the bird, okay? Like in here, like that, okay? All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other two, and I'm going to do it next to them. Now you can do them dead straight next to each other, or you can kind of stick them out a bit to the side. It's up to you, whatever way you want to do it. So I'm going to stick mine a little bit skew ways, as my dad says, a little bit banjacks. Look, so if you can kind of see it, one is kind of sticking out sideways a little bit, and the middle one is straight. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well, okay? I'm going to do that. So I've done my third one like that. Okay, and you're going to do exactly the same thing for the hair, except you're going to stick it on the front. So we've stuck the tail feathers at the back, and we're going to stick the hair feathers on the front above the eyes, okay? And you can stick them in the front if you want, or you can stick them in the inside of the tube. That's up to you. I'm going to stick them on the inside of the tube, I think, just to make it a little bit neater. Like that. So I've gone on the inside like this. Okay, and I'm going to go again next to it with the other two. Okay, here we go. Well done. There we go. And I'm going to keep going. All right. How are you getting on there, Julie? Are you all right? Have you moved on to the feathers?
I'm only nearly done the feet.
Okay. Then you can watch the video
right now.
Well, if you get stuck, you can always watch the video back later, so there's no problem there, okay? So
now,
look.
after I do the feet, I'm going on to the feathers.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I probably would be done.
Yeah, that's great. Now, there's mine. There's the hair and there's the tails. Now I'm going to do that trick where you're going to curl the feathers so they kind of stand out a little bit like this. And this guy's a bit more curly, I suppose, like that. And I've curled the hair ones forward and back in different directions, and I've curled the tail feathers backwards, okay? And that's that really simple trick that I'm sure all of you already know how to do. You're going to take the bottom of your marker and you're just going to roll your tail feather over your marker like this, all the way down to the tube like that. And then when you pull it out, it's made that lovely curl, okay? And I'm going to do that for all the feathers, all right? So I'm going to move on to the second one. And I'm just going to roll like this. There we go.
On the feathers now.
Brilliant. So you're folding.
How do you make them?
Yeah, fold your paper in half, Julie, and cut it in half. Okay?
Which way in half? This way?
No, the other way. The other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And you're going to cut all of them in half. So you end up with two kind of rectangle shapes on each colour, okay? So I've done two of my curly tails here. Now I'm going to move on to my last one. Okay.
Like this?
Yeah, perfect. And you're going to do that with all 3 pieces of paper. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay, so I'm going to roll. I've rolled that one. Oops, and this one really kind of curled on me.
A really pretty colour.
Yeah, it's lovely. And I use that one as well, I think. And I think...
It actually looks different on the camera. It's actually a different kind of blue.
Oh, yeah.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's really shiny.
No.
And it's really sunny outside, so it might be shiny just from that, but it's really bright if it's shiny from that.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Now, with the head feathers, you can do them forward or back. It really doesn't matter which direction you do them, okay? I think I might do a mix. I might do one forward. I'm just going to roll one forward like that, like a fringe. And I'm going to roll 2 to the side, I think, just to be different a little bit. And I'm going to do one backwards maybe. Might do that. Yeah, that kind of looks cool on my ones. But you can experiment if you want them to go different directions. So that's my one. I've done his hair curly and I've done his tail curly like that. And so this is when somebody said to me that it looked like a puppet. Okay. So when you've done that, we're going to move on to the wings, which are optional. You don't have to have wings. You can if you want, but I'm going to pick one of the 3 colours that we cut our feathers from. You have 3 of these little pieces of paper. I'm going to choose one of these to be the wings, okay? And the other 2 can be put aside for now, okay? So I'm going to pick, I think, I might pick the dark one. I think I'm going to pick the dark one, okay? And we're going to do that trick we normally do, and we're going to fold over a section of...
For the wings.
Yeah, 1 second now, Julie.
Not the wings, though.
Yeah, so let me explain this bit first and I'll help you, okay? So we're going to fold over the paper like this, and you're going to draw a tear shape, a teardrop shape on it, which is rounded at the bottom and pointed at the top, okay? Like that. Okay, so we did from the point all the way down, rounded at the bottom and pointed to the top. And because we folded it over, when we cut it out, you're going to end up with 2 identical wings, okay? Now, you don't have to do the same thing with the feathers, with the cutting at the sides if you don't want to. You can just stick them on, or you can have them kind of sticking out the side. It's up to you. Try out a few different things and see, do I want them to be stuck straight to the body? Someone yesterday had them like this, so it looked like the bird had his hands folded. I had somebody on Tuesday, in Tuesday's class, who made them kind of stick out to the side like this. So they were really cute. Or you can do them like I've done, and I did the little slits at the side like I did with the feathers, and just kind of stuck the tops of them on. So they were 3D and they stuck out to the side. So whichever you decide to do, none of it's incorrect. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to stick mine out to the side. I don't think I'm going to do the feather effect on them. I think I'm just going to stick them out to the side for now, I think. Okay, so I've just done one here. And I'm going to do one on the other side. I think this is my favourite one that I've done all week, actually. I really like all the colour purples, the different purples that I have on this one. Okay. There we go. So that's my guy. And he's ready for the string. So that's what we've done. Yeah, so you're going to cut a long strip, Julie, out of the paper you cut. You're going to cut a little strip all the way down on the 3 pieces. Okay. And then you're going to stick those on the inside of your bird like this, like that, okay? And then you can curl those feathers with your marker. You know how to do that. Okay, so for those of you who have caught up with me and you have all of your wings done and your feathers done, it's time to do the string. Okay, now this is really hard, so I would suggest, no matter how old you are, did you get a bit of help with this? I'm just going to mark on either side where I want, say, my mum to make a hole, okay? Because you know the way mums and dads didn't make this, they might not know where to put the hole. So if you want to make a little mark on the sides like this, and your mums or dads will be able to make a hole in it and add the string. Now, because this is the last bit, you really don't need to rush with this. If your mum or dad is busy, or whoever's there with you is busy, you can wait for a little while. You can do this last. It's the very last thing we're going to do. When they've made the hole, they're just going to pop the string all the way through. So I've made a hole now, and I'm going to put the string into the middle like this, okay? So I can see Louise's mum is helping already. That's brilliant. You have her at hand. You have a little assistant, Louise. Okay, and we're just going to pop it through the other side. So we went all the way through the middle like this, okay? Went through the middle like that, okay? And we're going to try and make it as even as we can at the bottom like this. So you're going to pull the string all the way through, okay? And make the 2 ends even like this, okay? It's hard because it's really long. So the reason why we go through the middle like this is because if you just add it to both sides, it wobbles a bit and falls forward because of the feathers. But when you put the string in the middle, it makes it all even and balanced properly, okay? When we've done that, we're going to tie a knot. And you're going to cut off the extra bits of string that you don't need, okay? So I've made a little knot there. We'll be teaching you how to do knots in a few weeks, but today we're just going to do this so your mums and dads can help. I'm going to cut off the extra bits of string. And that is my crazy parrot, my Polly's Gone Crackers parrot, done for today, okay? There we go. So I've gone, and I've done lots of colourful ones. I think today was a bit more muted. I only used 2 colours. 2 different shades, a couple of different shades of the same colour, but you can go as mad as you want. Now, next week we are painting. I almost forgot to say it to you. We are painting. So make sure that you're wearing something you don't mind getting paint on, or an apron or an old t-shirt or something belonging to your mum or dad that you don't mind getting paint on.
When
Also,
are we doing the painting?
we're going to paint next week. I'll surprise you. You're going to be painting something really super cool next week. And we are going to be using the paints. So for those of you who have the new paint packs, I think most of you do, but if you want to use the old ones that are open, that's cool. If you're open, you need to have the paints open before class because they're a little bit tricky to open. So you might need to open them before class because they'll take ages otherwise. And you'll need water because we're painting, and a piece of tissue paper or kitchen roll just to clean those brushes, all right? So we're definitely going to need those. That's for next week. Now, for today, what you can use from your box for today that we've left over is, or are, that second piece of card that you didn't use, okay? The rest of that white piece of paper that you started making the eyes and things from. And those 3 pieces of paper that you made the feathers from and the wings from. You can use all of those. So you will have enough to make a second one. And with the string that you've cut off, you probably have some string as well if you want to hang it up, or you can use it and just put it on a shelf and sit it there. So you have lots of things left over for this week that you can use, all right?
I'm still making mine.
That's okay. Take your time, Julie. You have loads of time. You know what to do. All right? So the 3 other pieces of paper that you cut, you put back on the box for another week. All right? So give me a look, guys, and see what you've done. I'm dying to see them all. Oh, Lynn, that's gorgeous. Well done. Lucy, the wings are epic. Oh, you did 2 different colour wings. Very nice. Ava, that's so colourful. I love you're mad about them with those manga eyes. They're very cool. Louise, he looks crazy. Amazing. And I love that you've made all the feathers stick out at the bottom. Isabel's still working away. And Julie, are you sticking on those feathers?
I'm still making them.
That's okay. Take your time and you know what to do. And if you're stuck, you can go back and look at the YouTube video because that'll be up later as well.
But the only thing I have left is the feathers and the wings, and I know how to make them.
Exactly, because you were watching and paying attention to your grand.
The wings and the top feathers that you put on the head are about the same.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Isabel, I love the colours on yours as well. They're really pretty. Well done, guys. Don't forget to send me those photographs.
Give them a name.
Yeah, you can give them names as well. And don't forget to send me the photos so I know who did what and mad things you've done.
Ocean Princess.
That's very nice. Ocean Princess. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for a brilliant weekend. I hope it's lovely and sunny where you are. Bye, guys. Thanks.